Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Secretary Jacob J. Liu, Deputy Secretary of the United States Treasury, Sarah Bloom Raskin, and other distinguished guests, to the dedicated employees of the United States Mint, who I fondly call my Mint family, to the members of our advisory committees, who I see here, to our numerous stakeholders and advocates, to those joining us via webcast. It is my pleasure and my honor to welcome you to the kickoff of the United States Mint's 225th anniversary celebration. On behalf of the Mint, I am the Chief of Staff, Elisa Bassnight, and what makes this actually a great afternoon for me is that I have the privilege of presiding over today's historical event, an event where you will hear from some of our nation's leaders to formally launch the Mint's 225th anniversary and unveil a hallmark achievement of our anniversary, a beautiful gold coin, coming soon. And as I look out across the audience and I see the multiple generations, including some young people, this event becomes even more significant. And I am referring to the young people. I think some of us think we're young, but I do see some young ones out there. So it is my hope that we are all inspired today by the history we will learn about, as well as witnessing the tremendous technological advances and innovation that has brought our Mint's craft to the present. First, we will have the presentation of colors by our Joint Honor Color Guard, consisting of members from the United States Mint and the Bureau of Engraving and Printing. And after that, I ask you to please remain standing for the singing of the national anthem by our very own United States Mint employee, Megan Sullivan. Please rise.
Present. On.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Right shoulder. On. Marching down. Ready? Step.
Thank you to our Honor Guard and Ms. Sullivan. Please give them a round of applause. Please be seated. Please be seated. So where do you begin when you have 225 years of highlights to share in 45 minutes? Now it's probably 30 minutes. Well, it was challenging, and so we look forward to continuing this conversation after today's event. Today, for the kickoff of a year-long celebration, our team thought it best that we highlight the theme, the significance of the Mint, and the 2017 American Gold Liberty 225th anniversary coin, which is culminating 225 years of history for the Mint. So the Mint's theme for the 2017 anniversary, and also a tagline for our anniversary celebration, which was developed by dedicated Mint employees, is remembering our past and embracing our future. But this isn't just a tagline. This phrase truly personifies the ethos, the tradition, and the pride of purpose that hundreds of dedicated men and women at the United States Mint bring to their jobs each and every day. This phrase acknowledges the 225 years that the Mint has been a vital part of our nation's economy. This phrase is also a reminder of the role that the Mint will continue to play in the future of our nation. And this phrase, through our year-long celebration of the 225th anniversary, acknowledges that the Mint will continue to be a part of future innovation. So we like to say at the Mint that our coins are the metallic footprints of our nation's history and symbolizes what America values and what America honors. So today is the unveiling of the 2017 American Gold Liberty 225th anniversary coin. And when we unveil this coin a little bit later, you will not only see its beauty, but you will see how it proudly represents our nation, its past, its present, and its future. What this coin symbolizes for me personally, and perhaps all of you will have your own significant interpretation, is the evolution of liberty. Liberty is a representation of how anything is possible. Lady Liberty, as depicted in coinage throughout the years, is modeled after our society's continued evolution. As we as a nation continue to evolve, so does liberty's representation. My final thought is to remind us that we live in a nation which affords us the opportunity to dream big and try and accomplish the seemingly impossible. I am honored to be a part of the Mint's 225th anniversary, in which we celebrate liberty, and be part of the team where one's leadership has chosen to be here with us today to help us kick off a year-long 225th anniversary. To help us understand the significance of the United States Mint and the role it plays in its service to our nation, allow me to introduce Treasury Deputy Secretary Sarah Bloom Raskin, who has been serving as the Deputy Secretary since 2014. While overseeing the substantive and organizational issues of the Treasury Department, she focuses on macroeconomic impact of issues that affect everyday Americans, as well as drivers that bolster and sustain the United States and global economic growth and recovery. Her full bio is in your program. Please help me welcome to the stage Deputy Secretary Bloom Raskin.
Well, good afternoon, and thank you, Elisa. It's a pleasure to be here in our beautiful cash room to celebrate the U.S. Mint's 225 years of service to the American people. I'm very excited, as I'm sure all of you are, to have a beautiful new coin that will add to the history and culture that's reflected in all our country's currency and coinage. I'd like to recognize all of our colleagues from the United States Mint, including Principal Deputy Director Rhett Jepson, our Treasury staff, the members of the advisory committees whose expertise and insight are essential to crafting the designs you see on all our nation's coins and on the coin you'll see today. And I'd like to recognize all those who are with us today who consider themselves coin enthusiasts. Welcome to the Treasury Department, and thank you for being with us this afternoon. In a moment, you're going to hear from Secretary Liu, who's going to remind us of the important role our nation's coinage plays in reflecting the values we believe in and telling the story about who we are as a people. Yes, we all know that our coins play a critical role in our nation's economy, serving as a medium of exchange and a store of value. But since our nation's first coins and currency were produced, they've also been something more than that, a physical reminder of what our nation stands for. But before the Secretary comes up, and before we pull back the curtain and reveal the coin, I wanted to take a moment to pull back the curtain on the mint itself and reflect on exactly how we got here and what the mint does. In 1792, Congress passed the Mint Act, which authorized the creation of the U.S. Mint and the construction of the first mint in Philadelphia. The very next year, the first coins were struck, half dimes believed to be made from silverware provided by George and Martha Washington. The Washingtons, George and Martha, evidently took their forks, knives, and spoons and pounded them into shape to create our country's early coins. And soon after, copper cents, the first circulating coins, would be produced. Now, fast forward to 225 years later, and the mint has become an important American institution. It has grown and innovated over the last 2¼ centuries. And we no longer have to raid the president's China cabinet for silver and necessary raw materials. Today, we have 4 regional mints, one each in San Francisco, Denver, Philadelphia, and West Point. And as you can imagine, demand for coinage has increased quite a bit. In 2016, the mint produced about 16 billion coins that are delivered to various Federal Reserve locations around the country for circulation, and others that are sold to collectors and to the general public. It's this operation and its success that we're celebrating today. In addition to our new coin, we're celebrating the people who work every day in service to the American people to operate their mint. From the design of our mint's products, to the production, to the delivery, and every step in between, dedicated mint employees are contributing their considerable talents to an extraordinary operational endeavor. Every coin the mint produces, including the 225th anniversary coin, is the result of considerable effort and operational efficiency. It starts with an idea, and we turn to artists, sculptor engravers, and creators to develop that idea and translate it into designs, often turning intangible ideas of things like liberty and freedom into recognizable images that evoke an understanding of these universal creeds. Through the talent assembled in the Citizens Coinage Advisory Committee and the U.S. Commission on Fine Arts, we rely on individuals with specialized expertise in numismatics, medallic arts and sculpture, and American history to provide vision and guidance. And we rely on representatives of the general public to ensure that in our great democracy, the most important voice is always heard, that of the people's. But creating and finalizing a design is only part of the process. Then the coin is in the hands of the countless individuals who support the production and delivery process. 40% of the workforce at the Mint are those employees who staff the nation's 4 regional mints. The regional mints often operate 3 shifts per day, 5 days a week, and they ensure every coin is produced to exact weights and specifications. Quality control is rigorous, and security is paramount. There are so many individuals who have made essential contributions to this and every coin. Another 20% of the Mint's workforce secure the Mint's more than $300 billion in assets. And there are also the tool makers, die setters, die polishers, and coin and metal press operators. There are product managers, quality assurance technicians, and communications specialists. A whole host of employees from across the Mint work together to showcase the best of American manufacturing and craftsmanship. They have worked together to bring us to today, a commemoration of the 225th anniversary of the United States Mint. When you see this beautiful coin in a few minutes, you're going to be impressed at its beauty and at how the Mint has captured in tangible form timeless and intangible American values. Now, I have to confess that I have received a sneak preview, and when I saw it, it took my breath away. I anticipate that it will speak to you too, and we hope that every American who sees it sees something of their own story in it. We don't forget the tremendous work that has gone into producing this coin and the unique role that the Mint has played in our nation's history for 225 years. We are enormously proud of our United States Mint and the coin we are unveiling today. Thank you to all of you whose vision, voices, efforts, and strength have contributed to better tell our nation's story. And thank you all for being here today. And now I'd like to welcome to the podium the Secretary of the United States Department of the Treasury, Secretary Lew.
Thank you very much, Sarah, and good afternoon to all of our guests, and welcome here to the Treasury building. We consider all of you from the Mint here part of the Treasury family, and welcome into the building that we are in every day. Thank you all for joining us to unveil the U.S. Mint's 2017 American Gold Liberty 225th anniversary coin. Before I begin, I'd like to recognize Principal Deputy Director Rhett Jepson and our colleagues from the U.S. Mint. I thank you for being here, and I thank you for your many efforts supporting our shared work at Treasury, advancing the critical mission of the Mint. Let me begin by offering a bit of context on the new design, because a coin represents so much more than its precious weight and value. The agency charged with minting our coins really is an extraordinary institution. The Mint's reach extends to every household in the country and to every corner of the globe. Its history predates nearly every element of our government, and its evolution chronicles the growth of a nation, reflecting its countless influences along the way. And is why the 225th anniversary coin has such an important story to tell, one in which all Treasury employees should take a great deal of pride. It reflects our nation's earliest days, still struggling to bring people and perspectives together while holding steadfast to our founding principles of freedom and independence. This is a history that began in the early 1770s with Jefferson, Washington, and Hamilton, recognizing the need for a unified national currency. At the time, all manner of national currencies were exchanged in the colonies to tender transactions. They were Spanish dollars and pistorines, Portuguese I'm going to probably pronounce it wrong, Johannes, German ducats and English shillings, all in circulation. On top of that, each colony had separate exchange rates. Jefferson, Hamilton, and Washington commissioned a report on the standardization of currency. This report would evolve prior to the signing of the Constitution and would set the weights and measures of American currency. Through their efforts and with the signing of the Constitution in 1787, Congress was granted the power to mint money. Article 1, Section 8 states, "The Congress shall have the power to coin money and regulate the value thereof." With that, in 1789, the Treasury was established. And soon after, following passage of the Coinage Act in 1792, the first mint was established in Philadelphia, requiring a special feature unique to American coinage. The law required an impression emblematic of liberty, with an inscription of the word liberty. Where other countries had put images of their rulers on coinage, the Founding Fathers advocated concepts and ideas indicative of our nation's values to remind each person who held them what was most important to the United States. And liberty was a preeminent founding value. They defined liberty as a condition in which an individual is protected from tyranny and the arbitrary exercise of authority. To quote Jefferson, "I would rather be exposed to the inconveniences attending too much liberty than to those attending too small a degree of it." From the very beginning, our nation's currency and coinage was telling a very important story about who we were and the shared experience we were seeking. Of course, the United States continued to struggle with achieving liberty for all. For the last 225 years, the Mint has been doing its part to close that gap and remind us of the principles and values that bind us through our currency and coinage. Today, it's in that spirit that we unveil the Mint's 2017 American Gold Liberty 225th anniversary coin. This beautiful coin also represents the most technologically advanced coin that the Mint has ever produced and features an allegorical image of liberty. With that, it's my distinct honor to have you join me now as we unveil this new coin. Artist Justin Kunz observed that the introduction of this image provides the opportunity to explore the rich heritage of our nation. The crown of stars borrows from the Statue of Freedom on top of the U.S. Capitol and represents the traditional hopeful ideals of liberty while offering a hint of the possibilities that the future may hold. Congratulations to my colleagues at the Mint on this remarkable achievement and for 225 years of service to our country and giving further lift to our nation's founding principles. Now, I would like to invite Principal Deputy Director of the Mint, Rhett Jepson, to offer a few closing remarks, and I would close again by thanking all of you in the Mint, all of you who are our guests here today, as we look at this beautiful image of a coin that will now take its place in our great history. Thank you.
So just a few closing comments. You know it's a good day when you get the Secretary and the Deputy Secretary here with you, and that's really an honor and a privilege. I remember well my first day on the job. I got called over to the Chief of Staff's office, and I remember the words he said to me. Chris said to me, "Jack and I have got your back." And I'm here to tell you that 2 years later into the job, that Secretary Lew and the rest of the Treasury staff absolutely had the Mint's back. And coming from a guy with a long military service, there's no finer compliment that you can give to someone and thank you for watching out for the Mint and the support you give us. Likewise, when I came over to interview for the job, one of the first interviews I had was with the Deputy Secretary, with Sarah. And twice in my life, I've had an interview when I said, I want to work for that person, and I was really excited. And so, to the Deputy Secretary, thank you. It has been a privilege to work with you, and in these past few months, especially more closely. We appreciate your guidance, your thoughtfulness, and your consideration for not only myself, but the rest of the Mint. Last week, I had the opportunity to travel to New York, and while I was there, I went to the American Numismatic Society, and they have a tremendous ancient coin collection there. And while we were there, we were able to view some of the oldest coins in their collection, and some of them were gold, and they're from Lydia. And they're very small coins, but because the content is so high, and the gold content is so high, they're untarnished like other ancient coins. They look like they were minted yesterday. And as we examined these coins, only as a Mint employee, I tried to decipher the inscriptions on it, and I couldn't read it, but I tried to decipher what they were trying to tell me on there. But then my mind turned to the men and the women who produced these coins during that time frame. So if we fast forwarded 2,700 years from now, and someone's examining this coin, I hope that they'll understand how much we cherish that valued principle of liberty as Americans. And as they look at this fine workmanship, the edge lettering, the proof, the high relief, the frosting in the coin, that they will understand what craftsmen our people are in the United States Mint, and will appreciate the work that's done there. I would like to thank our members of the Citizens Coin Advisory Committee for being here as well with us today. It's great to see you in the front row. We appreciate the work that you do and the advice and service you render our nation. So just one last thing. We're hosting a small reception up in the West Gables room, and there'll be some signage. But we'll actually have the coin on display. We'll not only have the 225 coin, but the test strikes that went into that and the dies. If you like the picture here, I think you'll like it even better in person, as it actually has more of even a 3D quality, as the stars on Liberty's head even tend to float. We're very proud of this and very proud to be part of the United States Mint. Thank you for being here with us again today, and we'll look forward to seeing you up in the West Gables room.
Thank you, everyone, for coming today.